But what's interesting to me is that most recently, LeBron James, I think he's increased his level of I'm going to be disrespectful. I'm going to create these narratives. He's increased his need for attention and saying that today's league is just better than anybody who ever played in the past, that they were bigger, smarter. I'm sorry, that they were bigger, stronger, faster, but they weren't smart. They didn't mind the game. They didn't have a brain for the game. That's basically what he said on multiple occasions. He even said that like Wilt Chamberlain wouldn't be great today, that Giannis would dominate Wilt Chamberlain. He would average 250. And my problem, I think, with those comments really is just that LeBron James and guys who played today, I mean, the game is just so different, right? It's less physicality. It's so much less physicality, right? And it's just a completely different sport than it was in the 90s. It was different from the 90s to the 80s, to the 70s, to the 60s, to the inception of the sport. It was a different game. And the way that you played the game and what was valued and which position was valued was different throughout the eras and different iterations of the league. Sometimes the style of play was based on literally what was happening in culture in the current social times. So when you think back to when Wilt Chamberlain played the game, he was this guy, he was this huge basketball player dominating a ton of players that were white. He didn't even want to use his physical dominance to be the player that he was. What we saw of Wilt Chamberlain, he could have been even greater. Imagine if he played today and he was able to master a mid-range. Wilt Chamberlain was a masterful, skillful player. He was graceful. He was just beautiful to watch in every way. And for someone to disrespect him, and when for so long, he was widely regarded as the GOAT prior to Michael Jordan, it's a complete disgrace. And so I think that so many players are coming out to say little different things. Some people might be scared of LeBron and his ability to bully others, whether it be in business or in the NBA. But it brings me to my next topic, Tracy McGrady. And it just seems like multiple players are coming out to say, hey, LeBron can't do this. He can't do that. And I just wonder, like, what can he actually do? That should really be the question. I know I posed the question is, would LeBron get crushed one-on-one? Because Tracy McGrady, he wants to create a one-on-one league, which I love the idea of this. I think it's just so amazing for him to just continue to put his footprint on the sport in some way. And it shows his real passion for sport and for basketball. So I want to play this interview that Tracy McGrady had on this podcast. I forget what it's called, but it was a really interesting watch. I'm going to let you guys watch it, and hopefully you will have enjoyed it as much as I have. But here you go.
Who do you think the greatest one-on-one basketball player of all time is?
It's hard to decipher that, man, because, if you look at LeBron.
Who do you think the greatest one-on-one basketball player of all time is?
It's hard to decipher that, man, because, if you look at LeBron, right, I think LeBron has been amazing for 22 freaking years, and he's been the best basketball player for, God knows how long. But if you put him in one-on-one, I think he'll get crushed.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. I think he'll get crushed amongst guys that are actually in the NBA. And I'm sure LeBron will tell you that, because his game is naturally built for a 5-on-5. He's not a one-on-one basketball player. Kobe is a one-on-one basketball player. Kyrie is a one-on-one basketball player. James Harden, these guys are one-on-one basketball players. And LeBron can't do anything with that. So I don't know. I just know, we always name the big name guys, but there's some guys out there that you don't think about that really can play one-on-one basketball.
I believe it. The attractive names are Kyrie Irving, James Harden right now.
Right.
I'm sure there's tons of guys.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you this because this was huge on social media this week about Brian Scalabrine. Have you seen the Brian Scalabrine one-on-one?
Yeah.
So Brian Scalabrine and George the Messiah, he said that he could beat Brian Scalabrine one-on-one in basketball. Brian Scalabrine showed up to the park. He beat him 11-0.
Smashed him.
Smoked him.
Smashed him.
So I don't know. No one was officiating it. It looked a little dirty. Well, the reason why is because George the Messiah in the beginning said there's no fouls.
He plays nasty. He's a dirty player, right? He's a dirty player. But the misconception is, you have people online talking so much trash about the 10th and 11th and 12th guy on the NBA roster. They will bust.
Yeah, that was my question. I wanted to say
100%. They will bust your.
Mike was saying before, he said if he ran 1v1 against you right now, I think weren't you telling me that?
Yeah, I mean, I try to kind of mirror the jab that you used to have in the league, but I think your length would sort of pose problems for me. But
How about that? How about that? I'm 45. I don't want no smoke.
but yeah, just to feed off of that though, I've noticed, I think Alex Caruso talked about this, basically saying how many players can you add to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament that can elevate them to a national title? I think he said around 27, 30 guys. But like you just mentioned, you have guys all the way at the end of the bench that are significantly better than the field. So if you had to give a number
of NBA players
that you can add to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament.
He only said 26.
He said 27.
Yeah, he said 27.
I think he was being conservative because he wanted to say more.
Yeah, it's 450 players and only 27. No chance. I go way. The number is way higher than that.
You think like half the league?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's kind of what I was.
Are we talking based off of who they are right now, this present time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Like present Giannis on Alabama State. Are you kidding me?
I think he would be considered in the 27 that he was listing.
But you know what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah, but
there's many others out there.
It's more guys. I mean, I would take a guy like Norman Powell. No one would ever mention someone like Norman Powell, right?
Most
He would
improved.
definitely go and change somebody's team.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. It's more than 27.
So I wanted to ask you a question about the Brian Scalabrine thing. How far is the gap between the worst NBA player and the best non-NBA player?
It depends, man, because I would never disrespect the field.
Yeah.
Because it's the draw of luck to be in the NBA with some of these guys.
That's totally
Some
fair.
of these guys don't deserve to be in the NBA. I'm just be honest with you.
Okay, fair.
And some guys that's in the field that deserve to be in the NBA.
Yes.
It's based off relationship. So I would never disrespect the field. Some guys in the field that are bust, some of those guys in the NBA.
I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. Well, leading to that, so in your prime, right? You said you don't want the smoke now, but maybe in your prime you're taking on anyone. I'm assuming. Do you think any non-NBA player on the planet could beat you one-on-one in your prime?
No.
Okay. I feel like you might say any NBA player one-on-one. You'll take him.
Not in the field. No, because I felt like in my prime, I felt like I was the best in the world.
And
so
I think that you were definitely there. There's no argument there.
I felt like I was the best in the world, regardless of what, team success. I mean, individually, yeah, I felt like I was one of the best.
100%. You mentioned Kobe, and Kobe famously said that you were his toughest opponent to guard in the NBA. I wanted to ask you, who was the toughest opponent you ever had to guard in the NBA?
Kobe.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
You talk about a man with over 30-some thousand points, and just naturally has the green light and the killer mentality and killer instinct. Like, some guys that are the leading scorers for their team, like you kind of take possessions off with them. You can't take no possessions off when you guard Kobe.
I can believe
right? That. So I naturally have to say Kobe.
Who would be a close second, or who would be a second?
Melo.
Yeah,
Melo.
There you go. Next.
Yeah, Melo.
Okay, sure.
Melo will be a close second because of Melo is one of us, man. Melo doesn't need a lot of dribbles to get his game off, like to get his shot off. I mean, he has a deceiving quickness with him, very explosive. He's physical. So you definitely have to add Melo up there.
And he's one of those one-on-one guys that could ball out in this type of league too.
For sure.
And in today's NBA, if you were playing right now, who would be your toughest guard?
In today's league? Yeah. Probably have to say somebody like Giannis because I guarded, all the way to power forward. So Giannis would probably be that guy. I would have to disrespect Giannis and just back up because if I give him any driving lanes, being 7 foot, it's a problem. So I have to give him some space and let him, show me he can consistently knock down a mid-range.
Yeah. No, fair. I mean, if he could hit the jumper and respect it, people come up and he's unstoppable.
I love this video because, again, I mean, this is a retired player, got no skin in the game, really. And he's once again just sort of highlighting what LeBron James can't do. And this idea that he's not a one-on-one player keeps coming up. I said LeBron James ducks the smoke, and it's because he's not good. And nobody believes in him playing one-on-one, and especially Tracy McGrady. So what does he do well? He can play one-on-one. We've heard multiple people say that all he does is shoot bricks. He can't come up big for you in late game situations. He can't shoot that last shot. What does he do? I mean, even Tim Hardaway, I think I played this video before, but I'm going to show it to you guys again because he just went scorched earth